Oh my goodness. All right. Well, we're going to stop that.
Are we live? We are.
Okay,
Okay.
we're live. Oh my goodness. Okay. Hold on a second. Let me try and
Did
delete
we
this
start,
music
did
that
we
we've
start over
got.
again?
Here, I'm gonna play a Okay. Hey, everybody. Thank you for putting up with our technical difficulties. June Caloroso is here with me with Build It with June or Build with June. She's the founder. And so, June, I figured out what happened. I figured out like I was watching it on LinkedIn and then I was
Okay.
watching it here. So I was hearing it in double time. I kept
Oh
hearing
my
more
God, that's
music
so
playing.
funny.
So
Yeah,
yeah,
you should tweet that
I'm
out.
just gonna scrap that idea. So what I was trying to do was post the link to the LinkedIn event that I have so people could watch it. But I'm just gonna share the replay once we are done.
Yeah.
Since we are live. So welcome everybody to Tisha Talks Live. If you are joining us for the first time ever, thank you so much. Today we're talking about living with gratitude, and I can think of it not a better person that I want on this live than June. And also because we're entering into Thanksgiving, this is just such a great topic. And before we get started, a couple of housekeeping announcements. If you are tuning in live, either on my Facebook channel, my LinkedIn channel, or on YouTube, the comment box is open, the chat box is open. So feel free to say hello, say where you're from, give us a chat, or give us a question if you have one, or just say hi. We'd love to see that you're on with us. Or if you're watching the replay, June and I will also be looking at all of the comments coming back through. But June, before we get started, I have a quote that I want to share with you and with everybody else. I know you haven't yet heard this quote, but it's so perfect for the occasion. Are you ready? You ready for this
Okay,
quote?
I'm
Okay.
ready.
All right. So this is a book that I wrote several years ago. It's actually a free download on my website, tishaMarie.com, and it's The Gal's Inspirational Guide to a More Purposeful Life. And as I was hosting all of these masterminds for mom entrepreneurs and women back in my past, I decided to write this book. And it really is just a compilation of all of these closing thoughts and quotes and things that I really, really love, things that really speak to me. Hey, Shelly Marie, good to see you. Hi, Valeria, good to see you too. So here's the quote. I want to share this because I think that this will segue right into our segment for today. So this is what it says on being grateful for what you have. This is a quote by Melody Beattie, and it says, "Gratitude unlocks the fullness of life. It turns what we have into enough and more. It turns denial into acceptance, chaos into order, and confusion into clarity. It turns problems into gifts, failures into success, the unexpected into perfect timing, and mistakes into important events. Gratitude makes sense of our past, brings peace for today, and creates a vision for tomorrow." Do you need your tissues? I
You
can't
like
believe
know
we're
me
laughing about
so
this.
well.
I just saw your face and I was like, you're going to cry. I know you're going to cry
No, I'm
because it
just
is
me
so
and you are
your
like this
story.
thing. We're both visionary people, and like when you're reading, I'm like putting myself. Like, are you talking about me? Or are you talking about us?
Yeah.
Oh my God, that
Yeah.
was a beautiful quote. What a perfect quote for a perfect live. I couldn't.
Yes.
This is my last live of November, and I was on a live marathon. I'm like, yes, Tisha, I will join you on the live. You're live for Thanksgiving week. That's such a beautiful quote. Where did you
Isn't
find
it
that?
great? I have no idea. I shared, and Michelle even saying, what a quote, a perfect quote for the times.
Right.
Absolutely. When I saw that again, like I'd had this book, like Michelle, you probably even have this book,
I
but
have that
this,
too.
yeah, this is a free
Downloadable. Yeah.
ebook just on my website. It's 50 quotes, all things from, on investing in yourself, on staying top of mind with your customers and clients. There's just so many things, and it really is geared toward like the business minded man or woman if they're reading it. But that quote, is just one that I think all of us can make sense of it because we've all been there at some point. We've all been thrown into the chaos. We've all been like, what the hell is this that I'm in? But it's just like in the quote, Melody is saying, like, your past starts to make sense. What you did, what you went through, what you grew through, all of those things start to make perfect sense. And it's what you can give gratitude to.
Mm-hmm.
And today, that's what we're talking about. We're talking about gratitude and living with gratitude. And June put out this amazing post. Hey, Brett, good to see you. Put out this
Hi,
amazing
Brett.
post earlier where she talked about the things that she was grateful for, and yeah, she gave me a little bit of a shout out because we were doing this live together. But June and I have kind of a crazy story too of how the two of us met. And June, I'm going to let you tell the story,
Oh my
and then I'll
goodness.
chime in. But how did we come to meet, the two of us, and how are we collaborating and working together even now after meeting each other over the summer? And not even meeting, just like e-meeting, like virtual meeting.
Interweb. It's like the power of just like LinkedIn. And how did we meet? So I've started following Tisha back in April when I got laid off. And hi Maria. I'm not gonna cry.
I told you to pack tissue.
Story already. Okay, so I was laid off back in April from a job and I talked about this just recently in my video. Position that I love, company that I loved working for, and then bam, I was one of the millions of people that were impacted because of COVID. And I always been tied to a company as far as like my personal brand and identity. I lacked a personal brand. Didn't know who I was, didn't know what I wanted to do next. And then I started one day scrolling on my feed, and this woman was doing Congo my Camrys to Tisha, and I'm like, who is this lady all about? And I think before I even reached out to her and connected with her, I just started consuming all of her content silently. Never commented, I never requested to connect with her. I didn't think she would be interested in connecting with me just because I didn't think I had at that time. I was just so lost and depressed and so had so much anxiety. I didn't know if someone like Tisha at her caliber would ever even want to speak with me, right? And and I was so inspired by Tisha um because okay, here comes the tears. Oh my
I
gosh,
told you.
because everything
Break
that
out
Tisha was doing
tissues.
on LinkedIn, I never had the courage to do. She was fully embracing herself and came on LinkedIn embracing her motherhood and was a badass. I could say ass now on LinkedIn.
You could say badass.
Hi Bruce. Bruce, you made it. Um, badass entrepreneur businesswoman that I've always tried to be. And I don't know. I kept just watching her show up every week, and she was so consistent every week, super dedicated. And I felt like, gosh, this woman knows who she is, and I feel like I could be that one day. And I connected with Tisha. I made a long comment on one of her posts. It was about, I think it was your Cinderella story. I think
Mm-hmm.
talking about redirection. No, rejection is a redirection, I believe. And that's when I first commented on Tisha's post. And then she sent me a DM right away and said, "Oh my gosh, thank you so much for that thoughtful comment. Let's have a virtual latte. We'd love to learn a little bit more about you and your story. How can I help?" And that's where it started. I used to be just obsessed by watching all of her videos, and now we've came full circle. And now she's not only like my mentor, she's one of my closest LinkedIn friends in real life, even though we haven't met yet. And I was just talking to Tisha, like sometimes like I feel like the friends that I meet on LinkedIn, I'm much closer to them than my actual like inner circle at home because we get each other. And since then, we've just been, friends and now accountability partners. And that's how we met. It's just through LinkedIn. I was just used to be a big, huge, and I'm still a fangirl of Tisha's work, but now I can call her a friend of mine. And that's just like the beauty and the power of, I don't know, finding your tribe all on LinkedIn. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah. That
Thank
wasn't an ugly
you.
cry though, right?
That was not an ugly cry. Those were good. In fact, Maria is saying those are tears of joy. Look at you now, June. And I can say that too. I mean, I've seen you when you first commented, and I still can't believe you stalked me and never said anything because I'm like, you should have said something sooner. But I want to say thank you. So I am grateful, June, that you took a step because that's a lot of the hardest part of what people do is just taking a step, one step, take one step. And that step of you commenting is what led to this. Because I wouldn't have known if you hadn't have said anything, if you were just a like, or if you didn't say one thing at all. So I'm grateful. I'm grateful because you're right. What June said is absolutely true. We met just over the summer, and through the whole COVID experience and watching each other and like helping each other. And I think that we connected a lot because of being moms,
Yes,
and
yes.
because you were watching me embrace that motherhood of saying, oh, to hell with it, this is LinkedIn material. This is not
Yes.
Facebook.
I don't know. For me, like you changed the narrative for me. Do you know what I mean? Because I think you're still the only like one of the only ones in my community and network that's you always talk about your kids. Like I know it's Ellie. Ellie just celebrated her birthday. There's Caleb. Caleb,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
And I think I even sent you a voice message when I saw one of your videos and you're talking about your kids, or maybe Ellie was in the video, and I think I even said in the voice message, I want to do what you're doing, like talking about your kids because my kids are my biggest why. And today I posted my first video of me and Robbie dancing. Robbie's my 6-year-old,
Mm-hmm.
and it took me a little bit of like courage to actually finally post a video like that because I was always afraid of like what other people thought. But now it's just like no, I'm going to show like the way I love about Tisha is she show.
Ding dong.
I'll be right back. I think
Did they
this
not
happened
get
last
the
time.
memo? They did not get the memo, June, that you
Give
were
me
on a
1 second.
live. No, I'm just kidding. All right. Well, I am going to check out some of the comments. Thank you, Bruce. I thought, Bruce, you have to work, but thank you for being on this live with us. His post here is, you ladies are the best in demonstrating the essence of meaningful connections. And I pride myself on building those types of connections with people. I am definitely not a transactional, let's just, what's in it for you, what's in it for me, and then we move our separate ways. It really is about building the relationship and being there for one another and checking in and all of that good stuff. So that's exactly what June and I do. And Brittany, thank you. Good evening, ladies and gents. Ooh, whoops, I grabbed the wrong one. Good evening, ladies and gents. Glad I could make it. Thank you, Brittany, for being here too. And thank you to, I know Harlany is on. We've also got Maria, of course. And yeah, and a couple people checking in. Shelly, Michelle, Brett, thank you all for tuning into this live stream as well. June, did you get your guests taken care of?
My daughter, she's here. I just picked her up, so I didn't pick her up. The
Hey,
beauty of
okay.
live, you guys.
Exactly. Like even Bruce is saying here, like, oh, lives, you're so amazing. Like, so June, okay, I just want to bring this up. What is the craziest thing that's happened? Has it been this doorbell ringing? What's the craziest thing that's ever happened on your live?
This is like the third time. I think has to be. I think it was like when I was doing a live with the mom project, and we had a mom, like a job seeker, a mom, asking me advice on her LinkedIn profile, and then the doorbell rang, and you hear my son in the background yelling, like, "I want my bike!" I think that's the craziest thing. I think it's the craziest thing. What about you?
Hailstorm. Hands down. I don't know if you were on that. I don't know if some of you guys were on there too, but I was interviewing Nico DeBrain and out of here in Arizona where I'm at, and June's in California in Northern Cal. And there was like a massive hailstorm that was taking place, and it was like pounding on my window. And it's not like I can control the weather, so I'm just trying to speak even louder and everybody can hear it. And when you listen to the replay, it's like boom, boom, boom.
You have to send me that link. Michelle says, I remember the
I
hailstorm.
know.
You
It
need to
was
do like a
hilarious. I'm
blooper
like,
reel.
I'm so sorry. Like almost like I was gonna be hit by it, but I'm in the freaking house. I'm
That's
in
so
my
funny.
office and I'm like, can you guys hear me? Like, can you hear me? And they're like, we
That
hear
is so
you.
funny.
You're fine. You're fine. So that's what lives are. You guys, if you were on at the very beginning, June and I were having, or I should say, I was having a couple technical problems, but it's all good. It's all
Yeah,
good.
you rolled with it.
Yes, but I just want to share that. So June brought up a really good point, and I think if you are living authentically, you don't hide. And that means you don't hide your kids. That means you don't hide the memories and the stories and the experiences and the things that make you you. It's why I'm a big believer in storytelling. It's why I'm always writing stories. It's why I'm always doing videos and I'm incorporating my kids. So, like the video I shared yesterday, June, I shared that with Ellie this morning. I was like, you need to watch this. This is the video I shared on my rule of life lesson, and it has everything to do with you. And she like burst out into tears this morning and
Oh
just
my
like gave me
goodness.
a big hug. And I was like, that's why I do it. That's why. This is the why. So, why would I hide my why if they are really the reason?
Right. That's so
So,
true. I
it
feel the
has
same
to
way.
do it has to do with everything with just leading by example. Like you lead by example. And what you shared earlier, June, of there's some people that get you and some that aren't, then you already know who the people are that get you are the people that are your tribe. Those are the people that
Okay.
support you, that love you no matter what, and they keep on this journey with you. The other
Right.
ones, you can just be like, see ya. We're
Yeah.
not
Yeah.
we're not right.
You don't have to be in my circle. You don't have to follow me. You can unfollow me. I don't care. Like, and you're right. That's how and I always say this too, like also too, like because I had some people as far as like my clients and people who are looking for work, what can I post on LinkedIn? What shouldn't I post on LinkedIn? And then I always just say I show up on LinkedIn how I would show up in everyday life and how I would show up at work.
Yeah.
And if companies don't like what they see, then do you want to be part of that culture?
Yeah.
You
That's
know?
exactly it. That's so smart. And especially because you help people with that career transition and you're a career strategist and
Mhm.
recruiter and all things, career driven. And you're right. Like I would give that same advice. If you can't show up the way you would show up in life, then that's probably not the best fit for you.
Yep.
Like if you have to hide, and some of you, like Brittany's saying, amen, you don't hide. If you have to hide who you really are, then that's going to be a very long road and a long journey for you if you are in that situation. So I say keep dancing on TikTok, keep bringing your kids in, keep doing the mom zero, kid one, you know, all of those types of posts because it is you. It's so you. It's so
Yes.
you.
But it took
And
me a while to get to this point though on LinkedIn, I kind of like gradually started being a little bit more open. So I always tell people I always tell people my son is here. I always tell people to just start gradually. Get like don't go like full like 180 right away. Just start with what you're comfortable with and add on
right,
that.
right.
And excuse the background. My son is in the bathroom, so
No, no, you're good. Hey, mom life, real life. We've got Brittany saying, preach a word, ladies. Of course, like we're really just saying everything that you guys already know. No hiding. Do you, be you. And I think you can see just even with June, how far she's come in the last several months of how she's just crushing it. And what is she doing? She's being her. This is exactly who she is.
yes, what
So
you see is what you get. You
this is
too,
what you get.
Tisha.
Yeah, this is it. This is it. This blessed shirt. This this is who I am. This is what you get. This is June. Like we're the same people. So if you are watching this and you're like, I don't know if I should reach out to those girls. They're a little crazy. Do reach out and you'll see what happens with that. So, all
Please
right.
reach out.
Hey, yeah, please
Wait,
reach
I gotta
out.
read Bruce's comment. He says, "Can't be cellophane." Oh wait, there's just a little delay. It says, I'm reading Bruce's comment. Can't be Mr. Cellophane, like the character in the musical Chicago. No, is that no higging?
I think it should
Yes.
be no hiding. Yeah, no hiding.
Hiding.
Yes.
Yes, Bruce.
Yeah.
I met Bruce last
Mhm.
week or 2 weeks ago. He's so lovely.
Yeah, I'm supposed to be on his well, I'm supposed to be in California next year, early next year. So Bruce and I are going to have our epic real latte, real life latte. And I am on Bruce's live on Monday. So that'll be fun. And I'm gonna wear blue just for the occasion, Bruce. You should
Oh,
always
I'm
wear
gonna wear
blue
blue too. I'll wear
when
blue
you hang out
occasionally.
with Bruce. Okay. All right. So June, I know that that we wanted to just talk about living with gratitude. And can you share with me how you are intentional about living with gratitude? How do you just make sure that you are like expressing gratitude in everything that you do?
Oh my gosh. Well, I mean, one of the things I love to do is like I do. Hold on 1 second. Oh my goodness.
Okay, so as June is doing that, because again, real life, I'm going to share how I'm doing it. So I kind of have like June's past. I've had a lot of crazy hiccups and chaos. I think that's why that quote I shared earlier makes such perfect sense to me about, taking the past and looking at it and how you can apply it to the present and being grateful for all of the experiences, no matter what life threw you. I've had some hellish moments as well, but I've had to use those moments to really catapult me here. And as I was sharing, just how I practice gratitude is every morning, really just waking up and just thanking God that I'm awake, like thanking God that I opened my eyes, that I have this day, that I can go on a walk, that I can be with my kids, I can be with my family, and just having this life. That's pretty much what I am thankful for. I don't need a lot of things. I'm actually trying to declutter and get rid of stuff because I don't need it. But I'm really grateful for the family, the people in my life, like June, like Bruce, like all of these people that have come into my life as a result of being on LinkedIn, and just really sharing how grateful I am for the people. So that's what I'm grateful for. And then, of course, grateful for a house and a car to drive, my Camry. All you guys know I drive a Camry, like all of those things, and having my phone to be able to record those moments and share those stories and so on. So that's what I'm grateful for. I'm going to pass it to June.
Okay, I'm gonna make sure to make this quick before he crashes again. So,
Yes.
I love writing. I have a gratitude journal. I always try to practice gratitude every day with my family too. At the very end of the day, I always ask the kids, "What are you grateful for today?" And it's something that we've been doing, I think, since COVID, this whole situation. And I'm always trying to pay it forward any way that I can. Um, and I don't know, it's just this has just definitely been a very unique time in our all of our lives where definitely given me the opportunity to reevaluate how I've lived my life
Mm-hmm.
before COVID, and I'm trying to simplify things. And I don't know, I practice gratitude every day as much as I can, even if it's like sending. I love sending voice notes to people on LinkedIn. I think we often send it to each other too on LinkedIn as well as
We do. I'm
texting.
like, oh, our time ran out. I have to re-record that.
So any way that I can, whether it's just even like sending like I also started writing notes and writing cards and sending them to people, and just like the simple, like even commenting back on people's comments, because
Mm-hmm.
that takes a lot of energy and time for people to write a thoughtful comment on LinkedIn. So I always try
Mm-hmm.
my best to try to reply and get back to them, but I'm always trying to. I don't know. I'm always trying to practice gratitude any way that I can, whether it's being on LinkedIn with my family, with my friends, because even though we've ran into a few obstacles, I'm still very grateful for all of those experiences because they're part of who we are. We learn so much from them, and I'm always thanking God as well. And like, I think the biggest thing when I experienced my layoff, I always, anytime I dealt with anything where it was like why is this happening to me? I always say to myself, God doesn't give you anything that you can't handle,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Right.
And I told myself that too when that happened with my when I was getting laid off. I was like, you know what, I got this. There's a reason why this is happening. There's
Mm-hmm.
something else. There's something like he has something else planned for me.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Absolutely. I think that that's also that, when you look at it that way of I know there's something bigger planned for me, it just shows that resilience, that resiliency, and that you come back stronger. Like you're not just going to take it lying down. You're like, I'm going to get back up and I'm going to do this, whatever it takes. Whatever it takes. That's been my
Right.
hashtag too. Whatever it takes. So yeah,
Exactly.
good stuff. All right. Okay. Well, I know that you've got kids to tend to as well. And yeah, I've got beef with broccoli that I'm making tonight.
Ooh. Broccoli. Are you making turkey? Are you
I
doing the
know.
okay.
No, I have only made turkey one time, and No, my mom was here to help me the whole
I
way.
know that.
So I'm actually making green bean casserole. We're going over to my mom's for Thanksgiving, and I'll probably do like some pumpkin cookies. I actually really love cooking. I love baking. Like I really do love it. And so that's what I'm doing. Oh, Giselle. Yeah, Giselle is on. She says, a saying I love is, why is this happening for me, not why is it happening to
I
me?
love that.
Oh, that is,
That's like the importance of a quick mindset shift,
it
right?
is.
How you look at things. Why is this happening for me, not to me? Not playing like the victim piece, right? Victim card.
Right.
So
So, yeah, no, that's good. I like that. I was going to share that years ago. I think I've shared this with you, June, that I was in a scam, like in a like Ozark type scam, like a money laundering scam. I don't know if I ever shared that story with you. I know some people that, have followed me or read my book know that that happened to me. And I like what Giselle is saying because at the time I was like, why in the hell is this happening to me? But as I looked at the situation, I know that it happened for me in a weird way because it's actually the keynote that I started using on embracing failure. And I was prompted to get back up on my own 2 feet and deal with the consequences. And they were bad, bad consequences. But I really looked at that as this is the way I move forward in this scenario and how I start to build my confidence again after being down. And now it's a speech that I give. So it's something that happened for me, just as Giselle was saying, and I use it still. I use that experience still.
yeah, because that experience that you're sharing is like going to help so many other people that are going through
Right.
similar circumstances, right? Because your story of overcoming that hurdle and because it's made you more resilient as a person is
Hmm.
now like your mission to help others who are going through this similar situation. So if you didn't go through that, then there's no story to tell. There's no lesson to be taught. And
Right.
like that's like what I love about all of like your rules of life lessons. And you often talk about like what you've learned from your experiences, right? So
Hmm.
I love that.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And it's like helping people that have gone through it, but here's the other thing, I'm helping people that will go through it to watch for the signs. Like,
Hmm.
hey, just make sure you're cautious, make sure that you see the red flags before you get into this because that happens too. So that's yeah, I think all of those things that happen for us are actually kind of God's gift of saying, you've got this. I know it's going to be tough. I know it's going to be hard. I know that it's going to, it's going to hinder you a little bit, but just know that you are going to get back up and do this again. So gratitude,
Oh,
girl. Oh,
gratitude.
gratitude.
Okay, you know what? We have to do it live again. I want to do like a dance competition with you or something. Like, I think like there was one live that you like had like your disco lights. I think you were dancing.
Oh,
I don't know
it
what
was
that.
a rule of life lesson. I had just gotten my ring light and it was like, I just had it showing. It was like blue, red, green, purple, all these colors. And I remember the life lesson was about be bold. And I was like, look at all these bold colors. Like, I'm going to use it for my life lesson. Yeah. Hey, it's fun to have some fun once in a while.
I
You can't
know,
be
and
so
like sometimes you
serious.
gotta live a little bit, man. Like, come on. That's why I
Oh.
love like trying to bring a little bit of like energy on my LinkedIn feed sometimes.
Exactly. Exactly. Well, and that's what I talk about. I talk about like start standing out in a sea of sameness. Like so many people do the same thing, the same quotes, the same this. Like I welcome your posts because they're different and you have good energy and there's good colors and just that's what it is. Like you have to start standing out. People's attention spans are so short.
Right. No, I
How are you going to
agree.
do it? How are you going to be unique? How are you going to do something different that is unique to you?
Hmm. That's so
Yeah.
true.
Yep.
Oh, I hear a scream in your
Oh,
background.
yeah. I know. I think Caleb's playing video games. All right, guys. Well, thank you so much for tuning into Tisha Talks Live. Again, this is a segment I do every Tuesday and Thursday, but not this Thursday because every one of us is celebrating Thanksgiving, I'm sure. But I will be back on Tuesday, December 1st. And yeah, thanks, June, for joining
Yay.
me. and rounding out this month of gratitude, this season of gratitude, and being my last November guest. And yeah, please do connect with us. You can find June on LinkedIn. June, do you want to share how people can connect with you?
Yeah, I'm putting my LinkedIn right now, June Caloroso. My website is buildwithjune.com. I'm also kicking off my LinkedIn Holiday Career Magic series with Edward
Whoa.
Thomas and Andrea on Tuesday, so stay tuned for that. But yes, I'm taking a much needed break after today's live. From today's
Good. I
live.
know. You said you're grateful you get to spend it with your family tonight, and I'm going to do the same
Yes.
thing. And I read a really great quote earlier today. If you didn't see the live, catch it in the replay. But this
You
book right
do.
here, The Gal's Inspirational Guide to a More Purposeful Life, is a free ebook download that I have on my website. So if you go there, and then you can grab that quote too, and I'll also post it in the replay. But I just want to say thanks everybody for tuning in today and catching up with me in June. Obviously, you see that like when we get together, when we finally get to meet each other, it's going to be like fireworks.
Fireworks like tears.
I know. It's going to be like, oh my gosh, like this is what I love. I love that you meet someone on LinkedIn or on a digital platform, and then you actually get to meet that person, and it is like epic.
Wait, you're
Epic.
coming to California though in early next year?
Maybe next year. My sister's coming in town for Christmas, but maybe I know you were kind of thinking about coming to
Yeah.
your friend's baby shower,
Yes.
baby arrival. So hopefully we will
Yes.
see each
We have to
other.
do it. It will be epic, and we should do a live.
Yeah, I
It's
am going to
only fitting.
California though, but Southern Cal
Okay.
to see Bruce.
Okay. Well, this is
But
fun.
very good. Well, thanks, June. Thanks everyone
Thank
for tuning
you.
in. Make sure you shoot us comments and we'll catch those in the replay. But have a great night and happy Thanksgiving once
Happy
again.
Thanksgiving. We'll see you in December.
Bye everyone.
Bye.